partnership with K98.3 each month, and we engage guest speakers throughout Long Island and the greater New York City area to speak about topics that are relevant to the field of health and human services. And today we have a panel of esteemed guests to come together today with Family Residences and Speaking Free in partnership with K98.3 to celebrate Autism Awareness Month. So, welcome to our panel. Autism Awareness Month, as you know, represents an excellent opportunity to come together to raise awareness about autism and to draw attention to the tens of thousands of people facing the diagnosis of autism each year. So we are so pleased to be able to come together and speak about topics and to share information and different perspectives on the services that are available to people living with autism. So I'd like to first begin by thanking our panel for being here and to welcome our first speaker, Dr. John Carpente. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Can you begin by just telling us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into some questions about the services you provide.
Sure. I'm an associate professor in music therapy and music at Molloy College and Rockville Center. I'm also the founder and executive director of the Rebecca Center for Music Therapy at Molloy College and the founding director of the Center for Autism and Child Development, also at Molloy College.
Terrific. Tell us a little bit about the Rebecca Center for Music Therapy.
Sure. I founded the Rebecca Center in 2000 and then brought the center to Molloy College. It became part of the college in 2008. Basically came out of an idea or a need. I thought that we had terrific services to offer kids and teenagers with social emotional challenges, and there just wasn't enough out on the island in terms of a clinic that worked in music therapy. So on the way of trying to fill this gap, I started the center, and it slowly built, and now we're probably like it's almost 18 years in, and we service about 80 families a week. We also work with school districts, working with high school students as well as first grade through junior high. We do research, and we act as a training site for Molloy students studying music therapy and related disciplines.
I understand that the approach that you use, the acronym I believe is DIR. Can you talk to us a little bit about that approach?
Sure. What's pretty popular in autism treatment is more behavioral approaches. Developmental approaches are starting now to get some play. The research is showing that they are more effective and that the skills generalize. And it's really based in developmental psychology. So how we approach it, our model is all about interaction and creating learning opportunities within musical co-active experience. So there's no musical skill required by the kids that we work with. They might just play on a drum or a cymbal or any other type of percussive instrument. The music therapist's job is to improvise music on the piano or guitar to try to facilitate this back and forth interaction between the child and the therapist, all while trying to understand where they are developmentally and looking at their individual differences. So what's getting in the way sensorially of this child being able to interact in robust interactions with the therapist? And so we do all this within the context of relationship. So it's kind of organic the way we work. It's not working on isolated behaviors. It's working more, a holistic approach in trying to foster communication and relatedness between the therapist and the child.
That's terrific. And you do a lot of work with the schools. Do you work directly with the music departments within the school districts, the teachers, all of the above?
Well, we work with the districts. We're different than music education, where music education is focusing on teaching music to the child, say guitar or drums, or even learning how to read music. We're not teaching music. We're looking at providing musical experiences for the child to get them into these interactions. So we have 4 school districts that now bus their kids into Molloy on Fridays and Mondays. We're kind of maxed out. We have a wait list of about probably 50. Well, a wait list of about 50, 60 families, and school districts are trying to get in, but there's only so much room on campus. The school districts come in, as I said, on Mondays and Fridays. We're now working with high schoolers that are looking to transition from high school into their next part of life. That is a big gap in autism work. And so we have this program called Campus Connections, where the kids or the adolescents, the teens, come to the school, and we've incorporated a lot of the departments for the teens. So athletics is involved. We have the libraries involved. We have all these different things that try to teach them certain skills that they may need when they move on out of high school.
So since there are so many people in need of such a service and interested in the service, is there a plan to expand it?
Yes, but I think that we need more programs like this. But one of the things that we're trying to do is to try to get into the schools and do some training, so to speak. So we want to empower the parents, empower the teachers, empower the paras that are working with the kids, so they can do it without us. That's really the essence of the model in how we work.
And how does the Rebecca Center work with the Center for Autism and Child Development?
The Rebecca Center, as I said, started back in 1999. And as of about 2004, I began a program at this school in Manhattan called the Rebecca School. It's just coincidence, the same name, but they work under the DIR model. The founder of the model, the creator of the model, oversaw the school. Once I started working there, I knew that I had to create something like this at Molloy. Molloy's always pretty open to these innovative ways of working with kids. Plus, we had the research to support it. So I proposed this idea to the college way back when, and they approved it. So although the Rebecca Center is specifically music therapy, the Center for Autism incorporates all of the disciplines at the college. So we have a psychology department, we have speech and language, nursing, social work, music therapy. And so it's a place where parents could come almost like a one-stop shopping, so to speak. So the team is speaking the same language. And so the services are not fragmented. A lot of times the kids are fragmented in the way they interact. So we want to keep it more a continuous way, and also things that are common in our language and how we work with the children.
So if families are interested in learning more about this service, how would you suggest they contact and or research this information?
Well, they can check us out on our website, therebeccacenter.org. They can also call us at 516-323-3324 or 3325, and we'd be happy to orient them and give them any type of information they might need.
We really appreciate you being here, and thank you for the nothing less than extraordinary work that you do on behalf of our kids.
Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, John. So part of the cornerstone of Free's philosophy and evolution over the last 40 years is partnership and collaboration. And so it is truly an honor to have Janet Koch and John Pfeifer here from Life's Work, the Family Center for Autism. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So how did Life's Work Family Center for Autism begin?
So Life's Work has been an organization similar to Free, where we provide services to people with developmental disabilities. We've been doing that since 1971. And I would say over about the past 10 to 15 years, we started to see a shift in the types of disabilities that were coming and knocking on our door seeking assistance. So we started small with a group of families with young children, providing afternoon and weekend respite programs. Some similar to what John had shared with music therapy. We offered art therapy, and it was great programming. But what happened was there was parents who would often be sitting in our waiting room, sometimes chatting, sometimes not, afraid to leave the waiting room in case something might happen. And over time, we started to meet with those families in the lobby. And from there, we developed the idea for a family center for autism. And the family center would be a place where all family members, siblings, parents can find solace in being together, having opportunities to participate in classes, not just for the person on the spectrum, but for everybody else in the family. And so in April of 2015, we had purchased the building adjacent to our headquarters in Garden City, and we opened our doors for the Family Center for Autism.
Wonderful. And congratulations.
Thank
by
you.
the way. That's a wonderful organic evolution.
Yes.
So what role does the family of a person with autism play in the treatment part? Obviously, Janet, you beautifully described how the evolution came to create this opportunity. What role do they play currently?
The family plays a very vital role in the treatment and support of a person with autism. In addition to the unconditional love and security that a family organically brings to the table for a child, parents of children with autism need specialized knowledge and information about autism and its treatment. That's what they come to us for. They want to know what is the best approach to helping their child grow and teaching them new skills and developing socially as a vital member in the community. When they come to a class at the Family Center for Autism, they're usually social in nature. We have music therapy, we have yoga classes, cooking classes, and what we find is that they see their children behaving differently and more inclusive with other children in the class. They want to know how they could bring that home, and they constantly ask us, how do you do that? So we provide a very person-centered approach to the child, but we're very family-centered as well. So when we welcome the siblings in, as Janet had said, or the parents into the various support groups that we have, so that they can see how our staff interact with their child and teach them as well, so that they can take those services as home. We realize that when you have a child with autism, you have a family with autism. And we would be remiss, all of us as professionals, if we didn't give the supports to those siblings, those parents, to help them help their loved one.
Oh, another way that we do support the entire family is we offer gap camps. So typically, during school breaks, and or if the child goes to a summer camp, there's always the week before and after the camp starts, when there's no school or day programs available. So we support many kids during that time and young adults as well. And what we do is we provide feedback evaluations at the end of each day to go home with the parents so that they have an understanding of what goes on, similar to what happens in school. And especially with the younger kids, that seems to be very effective, and very often we find ourselves teaching the family some things that they maybe haven't witnessed at home, which is always great when you see that type of thing happen.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But is there a predominant service that families are asking for, and or how are you continually evolving your services? As we all know, the rate of autism continues to increase, and perhaps you could comment on that as well.
Well, we see a lot of families seeking applied behavior analysis therapy within the home. As I said, it's very nice when a child goes to a center or a place of learning and is able to experience growth, but families are now asking for that help at home, and that's one of the premier services that we provide. Applied behavior analysis uses a learning style and motivation style to help that children grow, and also reduce maladaptive behaviors. So those services can be applied in after school hours, weekends, times that families really need it most. So we see people asking for that, but also they come to the Family Center for pure social activities. Socialization and interpersonal skill development are essential for a person with autism. So they come to the center to let the child play, to do something, to engage in music. I like what Dr. Carpente said. It's a beautiful program, and we do things in a more group dynamic so that they have social skills and interactions to make a friend. Things that can teach them various discrimination skills to help them learn new skills so that they can apply them either in school or within their home. There's a myriad of services. Pretty much when a family comes in, they want information, and every case is different. People want to know about community rehabilitation. People want to know about residential services. They ask us all the time. But many times it starts with applied behavior analysis, and we see people coming younger and younger. We see more early intervention, as the premier way to go to help the child get off on a right learning track, so that as they grow as an adult, there's a foundation of teaching and positive reinforcement established. Those are just some of them.
And we also work within school districts on Long Island, so very often we'll support the child in school. We provide teacher training programs, and sometimes we'll be assigned to teach an entire district about dealing with children with behaviors and all. As budgets get cut within school districts, they don't always have the resources to have ABA therapists on staff, and so we need to help to train all of the teachers. And then very often those same kids receive the private insurance ABA therapy through the Family Center for Autism, and then sometimes also attend classes at the Family Center. So it's very, very nice to have that continuum of service for a child.
Wonderful. It sounds seamless. That's great. If families are interested, who should the listeners contact for more information on your services?
Sure, they can visit our website at www.lifeswork.org, as well as the Family Center for Autism, or they can call us at 516-741-9000.
That's great. Well, we thank you, and we definitely are on a music theme. We'll be sharing a little bit about our music history, too, in a few minutes. But first, we'd like to hear from one of our amazing family members who's a great advocate. His son is someone who we know very well, and Joe Forcinito. Thank you, Joe, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Joe, maybe you could describe for our audience the services that Joey receives from free?
Yeah, of course. The primary service Joey receives from free is residential services. So he lives in a group home, has been in the group home since January 2007, and he lives in a group home with 6 other guys in Smithtown, New York. He also gets medical services from what used to be run by Free, but now is run by Free and several other organizations. He gets general medical services, he gets dental services, he gets psychiatric services from that organization. And he's also part, since August of 2017, he's also part of the New York START program. That program is basically designed to avoid unnecessary emergency room hospitalizations for behavior issues and psychiatric issues, and instead focuses on trying to teach staff and anybody who interacts with the population better ways to avoid problems.
Yeah, Free is proud to be the facilitator of the START services for the Long Island community, and we're very pleased that Joey has an opportunity to participate in that service. Can you describe for us how these services have helped Joseph?
Well, the START is relatively new. So what has been accomplished so far is that everybody knows everything there is to know about Joey. So there's the social workers who are in the START program, there are other people who are running the facility, there are other people at YAI, which is the program he attends, and everybody has met together on a number of occasions, including my wife Janice and myself, and we've discussed Joey and how he responds to this kind of stimuli and that kind of stimuli, and how to best avoid having situations get out of control where the only alternative is some kind of police intervention. So, so far we've been able to make sure that everyone is on the same page, as you say, and that way hopefully can avoid any major problems down the road.
Something that I know families and providers are always seeking to accomplish is the retention of highly qualified direct support professional staff. And we're just interested to know from a family's perspective your position on that.
There isn't enough time to tell you how much I agree with that. We have right now a good staff at the home Joey's at. We have 2 people on that staff who I would bet my life would do whatever they need to do to help Joey. They are beyond superb. The problem is, and I understand this is a problem statewide and probably nationally, the problem is that retaining this kind of staff, retaining any staff, is extremely difficult because of the amount of money that they get paid, because of the amount of money that's allocated for their payments. So you have, I don't know, I heard 30%. I'm sure Robert or Chris could better speak to that. But with such an absence of qualified staff in place, bad things happen. So I can't speak enough to the importance of having qualified staff in place.
That's great. And, you know, for a family's peace of mind, that is one essential element. And as an organization, we spend a good deal of our time in educating and advocating for our direct support professionals. In particular, New York State last year was very successful in a Be Fair to Direct Care campaign, and we want to publicly once again thank our decision makers at the state level for supporting our direct support professionals. It truly is vital to the success of our field. And for our listeners, and we will be highlighting this in a future show, Anchor sponsors a public awareness campaign which speaks to this issue on a national level. And we are rapidly approaching. 2020 is around the corner. Doesn't that sound amazing? It feels like a TV show. Now I'm dating myself, right? But truly, in 2020, the amount of direct support professionals that are coming into the helping professions no longer meets the need of the baby boomers entering the need for human service workers. So we are at that critical juncture right now, and so that is a national issue as well, as Joe, you very graciously acknowledged as well. Perhaps from the unique perspective of a parent, talk about the peace of mind that it gives you, or not, for that matter, to look into the future and the supports that Joey has had the benefit of wonderful family members creating with him.
Well, looking into the future came very quickly. Like I said before, Joey's been in the home in River Heights in Smithtown. It's over 11 years now. One piece that brings some peace of mind to my wife and I is the fact that we know that whatever happens to us, and I'm 70, my wife's 66, something's going to happen at some point down the road. Joey is cared for. And it won't always be perfect. Nothing is always perfect. But at least we know that there are people who are responsible for caring for his basic needs and making sure he's fed and clothed and gets the medical services he needs and gets off to whatever day services he needs, and so on and so forth. So that's, I don't know what parents would do without that, quite frankly.
Beautifully articulated, Joe. Thank you. By the way, I'm shocked that you just said you were 70. So for our radio audience, if you're seeing this on YouTube or from our website, you can see Joe does not look 70. That's amazing.
Well, thank you.
And for our listeners, I just want to acknowledge that the direct support professional, not only recruitment, but retention is a top priority for all providers and membership organizations supporting agencies like Life's Work and Family Residences. We have come together as a community that cares about this critical issue to design not only recruiting strategies, but retention incentives to ensure that highly qualified direct support professionals remain with organizations like Life's Work and Family Residences as long as possible to support those that we are honored to provide services to every day. Speaking of services, Free also has a wide range of services available to people on the spectrum. And Robert, you're going to kick us off.
Well, we have our music theme for sure today. And by the way, we have wonderful partnerships with our universities, and we want to acknowledge not only Molloy College, but the other universities that really step up to the plate to support not only our direct support professionals, but our clinicians, the individuals we're so honored to support every day, and the professionals who support them. So thank you. We at Free started a Theater Day program that was actually a volunteer opportunity for a decade before we could create the wherewithal to help people to see the value in the use of theater as a therapeutic milieu. And so, very similar to the stories that you've heard from our colleagues today, our Theater Day program, which now has touched the lives of literally thousands of people, has probably been one of our most publicized signature programs with Newsday and various TV shows, and it really is magical to see the way music and the theater and the fine arts opens up different parts of an individual. And when we started this, quite honestly, we were pretty ignorant. In retrospect, amazingly ignorant. What we now know through the more sophisticated technology available to us, that the arts in general open up and touch different parts of the brain. So now we have some wonderful evidence to support what we have all experientially known for a very long time. Similarly, the Saddle Rock Ranch program offers opportunities for people to engage with animals. I have to tell you, that is an experience I'll never forget. The first time we had someone donate a thoroughbred, and thoroughbreds are rather renowned for being rather skittish and nervous, and we were thinking, what are we doing? And as soon as an individual who is fairly significantly, complexly challenged came near the horse quieted. And when she got on the horse was like the sea is the glass. That's the only way to describe this horse. So calm, didn't spook. It was absolutely amazing. When she got off the horse, it was all nerves again. So it really is a magical program. The farm at St. Joseph is also just people working with nature, I think is our theme there. The organic farm, whether through the graciousness of the Sisters of St. Joseph's or something else, the horticultural program that exists at Saddle Rock Ranch. The art therapies, the music therapies, animal, and it's just truly, I think, part of the art of what we do. Perhaps even more than a science.
Free also offers a comprehensive, seamless continuum of employment services for those we're honored to support. Through a community-based learning model, we partner with our government agencies, the Office for People with Developmental Disabilities, the Office of Mental Health, Adult Career and Continuing Education Services, New York State Education Department, and a wide range of school districts to ensure that we build a proper continuum of services available to those young people that are graduating from high school and are prepared for the world of work, so that they can not only obtain but to maintain and sustain employment in competitive situations, not only throughout Long Island but the greater New York City area as well. So we're honored to be able to partner with not only our government partners and community partners, but also the many employers that have been very open to not only supporting the people we're honored to serve, but also embracing them as valued contributors and workers in their respective businesses. With that being said, Free offers pathways to employment as well, where we have our own in-house affirmative businesses that employ people with disabilities, and we are honored to continue to create additional opportunities in the future to employ as many people as we possibly can. Free proudly supports over almost 1,000 people now that are in competitive work situations, and that number continues to grow as we engage school districts, families, community partners, and other providers in a very different way, so that it is not only a seamless transition, but our men and women can gain greater momentum in the world of work, which has become increasingly more competitive. So we know that our men and women require as much support as possible, and their continuum of support is available to all of them. With that being said, we want to just remind everybody that we have a Talent Connection Expo on June 8th at Farmingdale State College in partnership with 6 other providers, one of whom is Life's Work. Thank you for participating. Developmental Disabilities Institute, the Rehabilitation Institute, Skills Unlimited, and ACLD are coming together in partnership with Free to launch the Talent Connection Expo. We are so pleased to have Mark and John Cronin from the Crazy Socks business. His son has a disability, and they launched their own very successful business, and they will be our keynote speakers. And this is an opportunity to come together and offer job seekers an opportunity to learn more about not only working with, but embracing the concept of employing those we're honored to support every day. So come out and see us on June 8th at Farmingdale College.
So Chris, for more information on free services, listeners can visit familyres.org or call 516-870-7000. This part of the program always feels like some sort of mini speed date because we have 30 seconds to say thank you to our amazing colleagues and family members. We are so honored to continue to partner and collaborate to help our field continue to evolve and to make the magic that happens every day for those we are also mutually honored to support. So we thank each and every one of you for what you've done to date, for being here with us today, and for what we know we will co-create for an exciting future.
Thank you. Again, we'd like to thank K98.3 for allowing us this opportunity.